Welcome to our new React episode, or the first React episode. I'm Officer Thomas with Top Gun Security Investigations, and here with me is my guest.
Sergeant First Class Thomas, retiree from the United States Army.
So we're going to basically be viewing two different videos. One is basically a security officer in a DMV, and the second one is a UK police woman who, again, situations happen, and we're going to go through his expertise on how things were handled, SOP, standard operating procedure, what went wrong, what could have been prevented, how it could have been prevented, and so on. So we're going to basically go from there. If the computer wants to work with me. Of course it doesn't want to work for me. It never does.
Call me square. What's wrong with you, man? Come on. Come on. Come off double park. I don't know. Get outside. Okay. Let's go. Get outside now. I'm going outside. Man, get your hands off me, dude. Go. Calm down, man. Get outside, man, beat his dog.
Okay, so basically we'll start with how was the situation handled poorly or wrong?
Well, we didn't see what started the whole thing off. What we seen was the security guard and the suspect.
Okay. Well, what started it off was the suspect was playing his music too loud. The employees at the DMV asked him to turn it down. He refused several different times, so they got the security guard to basically tell him to, lower his music or leave. And he refused, so he tried to forcibly remove him, and that's where the video starts.
Oh. Well, it could have been handled quite a bit differently. All right. By trying to wrestle the individual out and not doing a very good job of it, all he did was make a fool out of himself. Mm-hmm. All right. And then pulling the pepper spray out or OC spray out.
And not using it. Just
made things even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what he did, he made a laughing joke of himself. Mm-hmm. Inside the DMV.
Yeah.
So basically what he did was not
SOP.
show authority to himself and the security company that he works for inside the DMV. He made it a joking matter. So the individuals inside the DMV,
the rest of the people that were laughing,
they was laughing at him. It's not going to show respect for any other type of security, especially from that company inside that DMV.
And that's why they encouraged the suspect to basically beat up the security
do
guard.
what he did. Okay. Could have been handled differently. Yes, it could have been handled differently. If you pull your taser out, you pull your OC out,
Your baton.
out,
Be sure to use it.
use it. Because if you say you're going to use it and you don't,
That shows fear.
that shows fear. Exactly right. And that's simply what it was. So, I mean, I don't know what the company SOP was. I don't have it. I'm not reading it. So I can't tell you what the guy followed SOP or not.
Obviously, he did something wrong.
Obviously, he did something wrong.
So,
Okay, so in my point of view, my opinion, yes, it could have been handled differently. The guy refused to do what the officer said. So it could have been handled a whole lot different than what it was.
so second question is, at what point, and again, try not to laugh here, at what point did he lose control of the situation?
He lost control when he put his hands on the individual the first time, and it didn't work out right. Okay, if you grab somebody and to take them out or throw them down, whatever the situation is, you better be able to do it. All
If
right?
not, resort to your tools.
And if not, you go to your tools and you say, "Don't come near me, I'm going to spray you," and you don't spray him, then you lost control of the situation. Now, granted, there's, somebody knows more than you do. All right? And, okay, you lose the first round.
And in this case?
In this case, he lost the first round. When he went to his OC spray, he should have used it. He shouldn't have warned the guy.
He should have just
He
straight
should
out
have just
sprayed.
sprayed him. And that right there would have silenced everybody's laugh.
To show that he meant business.
Show that he meant business. Then he should have took him out.
Now, the part of the video where, and again, this is where most of the fellow officers that I work with that I showed, they commented that the moment where they got released hands and the dude was saying he was walking out and the officer dodged like he was going to get punched, at that moment, everyone says that's where everyone lost all respect for that officer. Because at first, they kind of had it because, he was trying to do his job, and then at that point, it showed that he was as I'm trying to quote, a frightened little chihuahua.
Yeah.
If you was his supervisor and you saw this, what would your words be?
If I was a young man's supervisor, and after seeing this, I would talk to him, but also he'd go through some more training, because obviously he's not trained correctly for that situation. Would I pull him off that job? It's probably, I possibly probably would. Okay. Mainly not because of his actions or inactions, but because of the people there, how they reacted to him. Because he lost all credibility with the
staff, the people, and
the
the company
people there. Okay? So he's lost credibility with them. So I'd probably pull him from that job, put him someplace else, but he would get more training.
No. So, going back to it, when the dude was trying to leave and he went back hands on with him, which, in my opinion, was a terrible idea to begin with. I mean, you already went round 1 with him and it didn't work out. Why go round 2? But at that point where the suspect picked up the officer and body slammed him on the ground, did that pretty much turn the tables? Or was that justifiable enough for the officer who did draw his weapon to possibly shoot?
No. That was stupidity on the security officer's part. The individual was leaving. The individual the security officer should have backed off.
And just let him leave.
Just let him leave. Yeah, the guy was talking trash. The guy obviously could talk trash because he won the first round. But he was leaving. Yeah, he was taking a sweet time about it, but he was leaving. Okay? So, just make sure he leaves. Alright? Officer made the mistake of trying to continue to force them out. Alright? And putting hands back onto him again. Because the officers want to put hands on him first. Alright? And the individual
reacted
to it. Alright? By body slamming the cop. Alright? And the cop was stupid enough to draw his weapon. Now, does that give the officer the authority to shoot? No, it does not. Okay? Because the officer
was not life-threatening danger.
It wasn't. I mean, the officer put himself in that position.
So, the conclusion to the story was the officer did get him to basically, once he had his weapon drawn outside, had him on the ground. PD showed up. They arrested the suspect for destruction of private property because there was damage to the DMV. They got him for assault on the security officer and disturbing the peace. Should, in fact, the security officer have been punished for his actions, especially going on hands-on first, or did he, in your 34-year experience being military, do the quotation standards? Or did he just basically what people, what's the word I'm looking for, were basically what people think security is, running cops, stuff like that. They basically make what people depict in movies. Did he follow that route instead of a more professional route?
I think he followed what the people see in TVs. Alright, I mean, being a professional is being a professional. Okay? The whole thing of the job was to get the individual to leave because he was playing his music too loud and everybody was complaining about it. Alright? The officer made mistakes. Okay? The officer made a mistake.
By not following
Pretty much, he got caught.
Yeah.
Alright? He lost round 1. Alright? That should have been the end of it. Alright? The guy was leaving, so forth, so on. Alright? Now, if he would have stopped it right there, alright, he did. The security officer kept
going on.
Pretty much egging it on. Okay?
Now, do you think
I see it.
Do you think the reason why he was doing that was to try and fix his hurt pride or anything like that?
I think so. I think he was. Alright? I think he was trying to fix his hurt pride. Okay? And a lot of security officers do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Things doesn't go the right way.
Or go the way they want it.
Or the way, because they got a badge, they may wearing a gun or what the situation is, and they feel they don't get the respect that
comes with it.
Comes with it. One thing is, respect is earned.
Not given.
Just like with the cops, respect is earned. It's not given. Just because you wear a badge and you wear a gun doesn't mean that you can be a total asshole.
No. I can respect you up to a certain
point.
point.
They have to respect the badge.
Yeah.
Just like in the military. You know, you want respect from your peers. You want respect from your subordinates.
Yeah.
All right? They have to respect the rank.
Yeah.
They don't have to respect the man behind the rank.
Yeah.
So they got to respect the rank.
Yeah.
You'll get that because that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
What you want is them to respect the man behind the rank.
Yeah. Not just the rank itself, but...
So they have to respect the guy. They have to respect the badge.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you respect the guy
person
behind the badge.
Yeah.
So you want them to respect the guy behind the badge.
Yeah.
All right. Same thing with the rank. You want them to respect the guy behind the rank. Because if they respect the guy behind the badge, respect the guy behind the rank, you get a lot. You get a lot of things, more things accomplished.
And people will work with you more.
Exactly.
Now, again, going back to your vast experience and 20 plus tours, would this, rephrase that, this young kid, obviously he's young.
Yeah.
Would he get people killed?
Yes.
Is that the type that you had to deal with when you were serving with all these young kids getting in and thinking that they were hot shots?
Yes.
So in a certain way, it is a good thing that he did get his butt handed to him so that he can learn that he's not all that.
Yes.
And it's a very tough lesson to learn.
Say again?
And it's also a very tough lesson to learn.
It is.
So if you were in his shoes, how would that situation go if you were in his shoes, or if you were there?
Mainly, I'd ask, dude, you need to turn down your music. All right? And, you know, there's different ways to handle it. You ask the guy, hey, you need to turn down your music.
No.
No? Then you have to leave. You know? And then you go from there. You know? And it gets to a point where if you have to use physical force, then you have to use physical force. Alright? But you start off using physical force. There's no need for that. Alright? In that case. Now, of course, in other different circumstances, yeah, you'll have to start off using physical force.
Like two people automatically fighting. Or some point case to another incident that happened to two cops. They were trying to take this gentleman who was extremely intoxicated home, and they gave him a free ride. They didn't search him, they didn't cuff him or anything because they were just giving him a ride home. And he pulled out his gun, and of course the cops hit a bump, and he dropped his gun being intoxicated, and he kept trying to pick it up, and it kept falling, and he finally picked it up and tried basically to aim it at the officers to shoot them. But when the officer in the right passenger seat looked back, he quickly hit the gun. They stopped, got out, they saw the gun, and they pretty much detained him, found out that he was a felon with a weapon, and luckily enough, they didn't unload on him.
Yes.
So in certain cases, it can go 0 to 100 depending on the situation.
Exactly.
But if you handle it in the way of the security officer, it can go bad. It can even go to where it could have costed him his life, depending on whether or not the suspect grabbed his weapon, got to it, and
it could have, yes.
in certain ways. So, does that mean that
it could have went a different way, where that individual, that the other people in there could have jumped the security guards and got his ass totally whipped, because the other people could have seen that guy wasn't doing nothing wrong. This guy here, oh yeah, he's a security guard. It's not a cop.
Yeah.
And he's picking on this guy for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. So, luckily that didn't happen. But yes, that scenario, that thing, that situation could have went from bad to worse in a split second. Lucky enough it didn't. Okay. Again, it has to do with experience. Okay. It has to do with experience. And that's what lacks in a lot of different areas, is the experience that these guys are going out with.
Officer Thomas here. I just want to thank you for watching our first video. Hopefully we'll have many more. This is, again, a new project I'm trying to work on. So please like, subscribe, and share this video if you liked it. And we'll see you in the next one.